Yeah. Now, this infertility in male, let us see. Infertility this is important for your NEET. The first one is oligospermia. If the sperm count is less than 60 million, it is called oligospermia. Sperm count is less than 60 million, it is called oligospermia. Second one is azoospermia. In azoospermia, zero sperm count. Zero sperm count. And the third reason is prostate cancer. Nowadays, this percentage is very high because of the lifestyle of the present day human being and excess use of these laptops, mobiles, and keeping it near the scrotal sac in the pockets. That also causes the cancer to the prostate gland. And cryptorchidism. What is cryptorchidism? Inability of the testes to descend down to scrotal sac. Inability of the testis to descend down to scrotal sac. What happens? Normally, in the 8th month of the pregnancy, the testis should descend down to scrotum. But due to unknown reason, the testis will not descend down. Usually what happens, if the delivery occurs in the hospital, it will be detected by the doctor, child specialist, immediately after the delivery. Then they make a small operation and they drag the testis, testis to the scrotal sac and place it in the scrotum. But if there is a negligency during the delivery time, then if it is not detected properly, then what happens? That will remain in the abdomen and the child will grow, and even after 15 or 16 years, it will not mature. It will not show male character. It will remain as a child only because this testis will not do its function because it will be degenerated due to body heat in the abdomen. So that is also one of the reason. And another reason is abnormal sperm. Abnormal sperms. Dear students, you know that the health of the sperm is very important, but there are certain sperms, they don't have proper head, or if they have broad head and a very small middle piece and a very narrow tail, then such sperms are called abnormal sperm. There are certain sperms, they have the curved head like this and middle piece abnormal and then the tail portion. And there are certain sperms, they have head properly, but they don't have middle piece. No middle piece. That is also abnormality. There are certain sperms, they have head and they have middle piece also, but they don't have tail. Tail will be very small tail. So in that condition also, the sperm will be considered as abnormal. Then very small head and other portions are normal, then it is of no use. So these are all abnormal sperms. If these abnormal sperm number is more, then also there is no chance of pregnancy. So these are all the different reasons of infertility in male. First one is oligospermia. Normally there should be 160 million sperms. If the sperm count is less than 60 million, then there is a chance of oligospermia. Then azoospermia. If there is no sperms, they are there, then it is called zero sperm count and the condition is called azoospermia. And cancer to the prostate gland due to modern lifestyle. Then cryptorchidism, inability of the testis to descend down to the scrotal sac. Then abnormal sperms. So these are all the reasons why the infertility is more in male. Now let us study the reasons for infertility in female. When compared to male and female, the infertility cases are more in male, but it is less in female. I will show you the infertility causes in female. Infertility in female. Dear students, the reasons for infertility in female, they are as follows. I will draw all the infertilities in one diagram so that you will remember that. See, the first reason is blocked fallopian tube. Blocked fallopian tube. If the fallopian tube is blocked, even the egg is normally released from the ovary, that egg can't reach the uterus. So, egg should be released from here, it should come here and it should go like this, no? But when there is a block, it can't go. But we should remember that it can be repaired. It can be repaired in modern medical technology. They just open this and they allow the movement of the egg. They make the fallopian tube open so that we can cure this particular abnormality. And second one, I already told you, ectopic pregnancy. If there is a conception in the tube itself, then also the problem arises, and when the child grows, there will be a chance of rupturing in the end of first 1.5 month. And this pelvic dilation, pelvic inflammatory disease due to STD, sexually transmitted, it's a disease, the swelling of the pelvic region. Then cancer of the pelvic region, pelvic cancer, pelvic cancer. So that's also one of the reason why there is no possibility of childbirth. This pelvic cancer is due to continuous pregnancy without any gap. If there is a series of childbirth continuously, then there is every possibility of pelvic cancer. Then the development of fibroids, or the tissue that may grow fibroids. And also endometriosis. In internal bleeding. Endometriosis. This is also one of the reasons. We can cure this ectopic blocked pregnancy. By removing ectopic pregnancy, we can safeguard the other side of the ovary and egg releasing process. We can cure this endometriosis. In early stages, we can cure this. But the pelvic cancer, there is no solution. So, because of all these things, the chance of infertility in female is less when compared to the chance of infertility in male. So, what are the measures modern medicine suggests to overcome this infertility? There are different methods. We'll study one by one. Assisted reproductive technologies. Assisted reproductive technologies. There are many assisted reproductive technologies are there nowadays to overcome the problem of the disease, and let us study what are those assisted reproductive technologies. One is in vitro fertilization, IVF. In vitro and another technique is IVF-ET. In vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. Embryo transfer. In vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. Then third one is ZIFT. Zygote intra-fallopian transfer. Zygote intra-fallopian transfer. And then intrauterine transfer. Then all these are, I'm telling about this for your need. Gift, gamete, intra, fallopian transfer. Gamete, intra, fallopian transfer, gift. And then post peritoneal oocyte and sperm transfer. Sperm transfer. Peritoneal oocyte and sperm transfer. So, I'll tell briefly about all these different treatments. First one is about the in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. So, what is that? In vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. Usually, if in case of azoospermia or oligospermia, then they go for this. In this, there should be a problem in the husband, and female reproductive system should be normal. In such cases, they go for this IVF method. What they do, they collect the semen from the husband, and they centrifuge it. They collect the healthy sperms from that particular sample, and then they store it in lesser temperature. And what they do, they remove by giving the hormonal injection to the female. They remove the 15 to 16 eggs. Instead of one egg, normally one egg will be released, 16 eggs, and they collect it, and they select 4 or 5 eggs, and then they fuse those eggs along with the sperm, and they fertilize it outside, hence it is called in vitro, outside the body, in the lab. And after the formation of zygote, when it becomes 4-celled, then they insert it into the female reproductive tract. So that is a method. In zygote intrafallopian transfer, what they do, they transfer the zygote to the fallopian tube. And IUT, intrauterine transfer, they directly transfer the zygote or sperm to uterus itself. Then gift, gamete intrafallopian transfer. They transfer the gametes to the fallopian tube somewhere here. They transfer the sperms, or if there is no egg, then or abnormal egg, then they can go for egg bank, and then they collect the sperm and egg together and they release it to the fallopian tube. So these are all some of the methods, and if by all these methods, if it is not conceived, if the child is not conceived in the womb, then they go for another method, that is a most advanced method, that is called ICSI. ICSI. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. What they do, they dissect and they transfer the egg sperm by micro injection into the egg cytoplasm. So by micro injection they transfer the sperm directly to the egg cytoplasm. That is called ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Then artificial insemination technique, that is done during intrauterine transfer. Artificial insemination is done during IUT, intrauterine transfer. Then surrogacy, surrogate mother, you might have heard. Film stars, they their embryo will be carried and developed by some other, and they find it's a contract. Finally, they pay the money. These film stars, they paid the money, and then they collected that particular child. That means rented mother during the time of pregnancy. So that is called surrogacy. That is also there. If there is a problem in the uterus of the mother, then they go for surrogate mother. So that's also one of the method. Then if in all these methods, if there is a problem, then they can go for adoption of the child. Adoption of the child. So this is the end of this chapter, and I'll give the homework, and you should submit it, and then I'll send one test paper if possible. You should write the answer for the test paper in white sheet, and you make a file, and while coming to the college, when the college commences, then you should submit it to me. Thank you.